Kal Halalim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakah Kadash.
Kal Halalim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakah Kadash. Alright, we are the Hebrew Israelites, and we come out here every week to prophesy about the downfall of America, prophesied in the Bible.
And also the wickedness that this country has done to the Israelites. And today we're going to talk about, but before we do, we just want to thank Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and the Holy Spirit for waking us up and keeping us working in this truth, because knowing this truth, which is the only truth on the planet Earth, is a blessing. It's a blessing to just know that you're an Israelite. It's a blessing to know the names Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It's a blessing to know that the devil is the white man.
Yeah, and today we want to tell you that these people on this sign, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that they're in captivity right now, under the heathen, under the heathen nations.
Yep.
And the reason why they went into captivity, because they turned away from the Most High's commandments and they started serving other gods.
You want to you got Deuteronomy?
Yep. And this is to start it off. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if ye obey the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai your power, which I command you this day. And a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai your power, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods which ye have not known.
So that's what gets you in trouble. That's what gets you put into slavery. And going across the street into that building is, even though that's so-called church, that's where the curse gets intensified. I used to go to the Catholic church, and this brother went to the other church, and it was crazy in there.
I didn't learn the things that I learned now when I came into the truth about the Bible.
Because when you go to the Catholic church, they just say the same thing over and over, and they don't break down the scripture. Now, if you go to a so-called Christian church, it might be a little different in there. They'll probably give you some more information. Because I've been to both, and the truth is not in either one. It's out here. But that's what I'm saying. The water Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakah Kadash for giving us this truth.
Yeah.
That's why we got to give thanks where thanks is due. And I'm going to keep saying this all the time. Thanks to the apostles of GMS and the brothers of GMS. You know, even though we don't fly the GMS banner, because if we do, then people could just come up with those arguments that we inherited because we're in GMS. But we still follow GMS. You know what? We are GMS. Let's just say it like that, but we don't want those arguments that are inherited. Because they'll just come up and say, oh, what about the rape? Well, is it in the scriptures? Yeah, it's in the scriptures.
Yep, because we teach exactly the same thing that GMS teaches, because this brother found out through GMS, found out the truth, and he told me, and then from then, that's when we started studying, and we found it to be true.
And that's when we became free men. That's when we became free men, because there's multiple types of slavery. There's slavery that righteous slavery, like if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you're broke and you have to put yourself into slavery, a righteous slavery. So then you're into slavery for 6 years. You work 6 years, and then the 7th year you're set free. You're let go. And I got the law talking about it right now, but we're gonna stick to Deuteronomy for right now.
Okay, so back in Deuteronomy, so the Lord said, I set before you a blessing and a curse. Okay, so it says, and it shall come to pass when Yahweh Shem Yahushai, thy power hath brought thee in unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim and the curse upon Mount Ebal. Let me skip down.
Because we have to understand why we went into slavery. We have to know why these people are so jacked up. These people on this side of the sign. There's a spiritual reason. It's because we went off. We stopped following the commandments. We stopped being brotherly to each other. We started committing adultery. We started worshiping idols. We started worshiping Serapis, Caesar Borgia, and all this, whatever madness comes up in any church, in any building that's not. Look at, this is a church. If you go inside a building to be part of a church, you're going inside to be part of a cult. But they say, these so-called Christians that fight against the truth say that we're in the cult.
But the word cult,
Go ahead.
the word cult just means worship, you know. So it's like.
Well, yeah, we're in a cult, but you're in a cult too, okay? But you're in a wicked cult.
So in Deuteronomy chapter 11, it said, I set before you a blessing and a curse. And then in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh Shem Yahushai thy power.
Hold on, did it say diligently or did it say take it easy?
If thou shalt hearken diligently.
Diligently, that sounds tough.
So that means you gotta listen very, very careful, very like you're very into attention, you know.
That means I have to pay attention and I have to follow these laws. I just can't worship by tongue, right? Because it says diligent. You want to look at that word diligently or diligent? Hopefully it means that I can have sex with my brother's wife. Hopefully it says, I can sit on another man's lap. Hopefully it says that the word loves everybody. The Lord loves everybody.
So this is the definition for diligently: to hear, to listen, to obey.
Uh-oh.
To hear, perceive by ear, or to hear of concerning.
To hear and obey, man. To
Also,
hear and obey.
To hear with attention or interest. To understand.
Shoot, if you understand, then you know that homosexuality is bad. It's against the scriptures. It's against nature and it's against the scriptures.
To proclaim, you know.
That means I have to be about it, right? I just can't say, oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm going to take the winters off. I'm going to take the hot summers off. You know, it's too hot. I've been working too hard. I can't make it to the gathering. I can't make it to fellowship. That's the most important part of the truth. That's the most important part of any church. Is the gathering. How can you not make time for that?
Because this is what we study for all week. All week we study all week to come out here and give you the breakdown of what we studied.
But we're hoping and praying for a reward also. Because every man has to work. And the reward is the kingdom. Now let me tell you a little bit about the kingdom. People think that you have to die and go into a different realm. The kingdom is going to be here on earth. So some people will die, but they'll come back in a regeneration, which is reincarnation. and then you'll get to live on earth and enjoy the kingdom on earth. But not everybody's gonna die. That's why we're out here, because we don't want to die. We want to have everlasting life. The only way you can have everlasting life is through Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Not sweet Jesus, not Buddha, not Muhammad.
Right.
Those are all wicked idols. Now, we don't have an idol to worship when we say Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. We don't,
We don't have no statue, you know.
We have to beat that image of Caesar Borgia and Serapis Christus out of our head and replace it with the true image. A darker, way darker skin, hair like wool, eyes of fiery flame. See, every time I say Yahweh Shai, or the Lord, or Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I see them. I see them.
Right.
It's like every day.
Because Jesus wasn't white.
Yeah, Jesus wasn't white. He was a dark-skinned man.
Yeah, because when you think about Jesus in your head, if you close your eyes and you think about Jesus, you think of a white man. You know?
And what has a white man done to you, for you? I'm gonna give you a time frame too. Let's say 1492. Let's count since then, because it's been 500 years of slavery.
Hasn't been that long.
It really hasn't. If you think about it, this is a short time.
It hasn't been that long, so it's still, the Israelites are still taking effect from that slavery that went on.
You know what's so funny to me? These fucking Jakes, because we live on this. See, no, we don't live here, but this is Harris, and this is the street we're on. If you go to the right 100 yards, you're in the ghetto. If you go to the left 100 yards, you're in downtown, where it's protected by the police. Jake comes down from the ghetto, and he looks at us and he says, "Madness." You hear that dude on the bike? You know what? That's what you were supposed to say. I'm not mad at you. That's what you were supposed to say. Why? Because you were condemning yourself. And we were just talking about not dying.
We're just talking about hearkening diligently, you know? And that means listening with attention.
See, that's fine. Just laugh. But guess what? When Yahweh Shai comes back and we get those powers, I'm going to kick your teeth in. And you're going to be choking and shitting out teeth. And then I'm going to be laughing. And then this brother's going to be laughing.
Right.
Pretty much everybody that's diligent in Israel. And you don't have to be in GMS to be part of the elect. You can be in any camp, but your heart has to be in the right place, and you have to be able to accept the truth. Maybe that's all the Lord brought us out here to do, is just to get people to condemn themselves. Maybe. But by doing that, we're still doing what the Lord told us to do. Because that's part of following the laws and keeping those commandments. So we were in slavery. We found out the truth. Now we're keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities. So now we're earning our freedom. We're earning our freedom. But let's talk about slavery. Go ahead.
All right. Back in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
And right now, the men of the Lord who are awoke to this truth, they're up on a high level, on a high plane. Not because we think we're better, but because we know a little better. We know a little more.
It says, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai thy power. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Okay, now it's going on saying all the blessings, but
we keep the law.
Let me skip down.
How you doing, brother?
Good, good.
listen?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, I remember you from way over there.
yeah.
All right, brother. We're
Hey.
just talking about the blessings and the curses.
I think it's Psalm 6 where he says that we had in irons, we were like and behind bars, sitting alone in the solitary place. We cried out. I cried out. I heard my cry. Broke the bars of iron asunder. Let me out in the solitary way, and the way that I should go, so that we can have a city to dwell in. But he goes down and he says, he sent his word that the land tried to speak like a deal, but we had contempt. So we're saying that fools,
Oh yeah.
we're fools, because we had contempt for his word. So he said, I told our many times that not focus on the city, like him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell Pastor Phil, look, I don't know about you, man.
Hell no.
Okay? This is a trick.
She is a trick.
When did it come to the point, what day, it's someday we come to when God don't know what he's talking about. And here's a man himself that he's a judge
Yeah.
in the city. He's a judge with no judgment. And a fool, because women have been the way, the reason all the way down, because I hearken unto the voice of thy wife, Eve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Eve.
Okay?
right.
You know,
Genesis
look
3.
at Solomon. Why is this man besides Christ? Over 1,000 women, man. 700 women.
Oh, did you know Solomon was Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation, the Mashiach, the Christ in the reincarnation?
Yeah, but look at his decision, though.
Oh yeah, he fucked up.
All pagans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But can we say this? If we took women from our tribe, let's say we took women from our tribes, would it be any different? Because they're reckless.
No, but we ain't gonna live with 1,000 now.
Oh, yeah, not-
and claim wisdom too.
I can't even handle one, man.
I couldn't go one and then one on the side.
But you know what? In the kingdom, we're gonna balance many wives.
Right, but we're we don't use it 2% now.
Hey,
So God said
yeah.
in Genesis, I had to limit their knowledge. Because look at the disciples do with the Tower of Babel.
You know who you remind me of? In the scriptures where it says, where one of the Pharisees goes up to the Lord, and he asks him a question, and then the Lord tells him, "I see that you're this closer to the kingdom this day. You know, you're getting close.
Yeah,
You're getting close."
at least question it. With wise question, not just to trip him up. Because they followed him everywhere he went, so finally he went to Philippi and Caesarea just to get away.
I'm gonna call you Eli, man. Because you ever seen that movie, The Book of Eli?
No, he didn't.
Okay, let me tell you. See, there's this brother, and he's blind, and he's carrying around the word, right, in the Braille. Denzel Washington, yeah. But he knows the whole scriptures, and he lives the whole scriptures. See, that's you, man. That's our people, man. You know the scriptures. You don't even have the book in your hand, and you're telling me, and I'm looking up and where he's saying, and I'm like, man, he's right. So you're correcting yourself.
If I wasn't right,
You know what I'm saying?
I'd be sad. I don't like to know how ignorant I could be. Open up and confirm. If I didn't know, I do this, I listen. Like the sheep before the shears was down.
Yeah.
But not the love.
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Yeah. Well, it's not meant for everybody. It's just meant for us.
No. The principles could apply to anyone if they chose to.
Yeah.
So that's how you take the Bible and make it
Pragmatic. You make it work for you.
Yeah.
You make it work, and it lives.
Yes.
That's what we were just talking about.
So if these people,
If these people came back to who they really are, which is his people,
if
then
our
we'd be
forefathers
okay.
if our forefathers didn't sin, we wouldn't be in captivity right now.
No. It was sin. It was sin. It was never designed for us to die.
Yeah,
See, that's the evolutionary death and it's just a cycle of life. Without,
yeah, these
you know,
motherfuckers
it's
are
not a
crazy.
consequence.
But what the so-called white man is doing, because he's really red, is he's making our food that less nutritious and has less minerals, so that we do die. So that he's chipping off the block.
Yeah. Well, you know, on every corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's Winnie, I don't care if it's the King, I don't care if it's the Clown, I don't care who it is. The big three, sugar, salt, and fat, is in every fast food company. Okay? With no nutrition. And
None.
You can check this. There's
None.
never seen on any commercial, I don't care who it is. And this stuff is good for your family. Good for your family. In other words, it's nutrition. They'll never say that.
They never say that.
Because the fat is lying on planet Earth, and it's too easy to check. You see the nutrition? Man, that's false. And that's where we're starved, and that's why we're many overweight. Because the body's still saying that it's hungry because Okay, yeah.
It's not
yeah,
getting the nutrition.
Exactly. It's not getting fed, really. Fed.
Well, this is a good nutrition right here.
That's the bread of life.
That's the bread of life. There you go.
You catch it from the water, huh?
That's it, brother. Shalom, brother. Man, those words. Yeah, Shalom Shabbat. Because technically it is the Sabbath.
Man, this brother knows the words.
And that's why last week we said, you know, be not, what does the scripture say? Entertain a stranger. You got to entertain a stranger, right? Man, look at. Look, he's convincing me that he's a bum, but my spirit's like, man, that's an angel. Come on.
His spirit is rich.
Damn, man, you motherfuckers making me sick. Passing by, laughing at us. Man, oh man. That brother is right there is gonna have some power.
He was doing the opposite of laughing, you know.
But you know what? I welcome your laughs. You know why? Because when we're laughing, you're gonna be crying. Because right now we're crying and you're laughing at us crying. How the hell are you gonna laugh at a baby crying? For salvation. We're crying for salvation, and you're laughing at us. It's the best if you didn't even acknowledge us, just ignore us. See, but seeking you shall find you. If you ask for it, you will be given. And I was looking in my pockets to see if I could give that brother some money, but I didn't have no fucking money. Once again, missing my opportunities, man. But you know what? He doesn't look like he's starving. He doesn't. Man, that's making me think, man. That's probably an angel.
Because he knows what the bread of life is. So.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he knows the whole scriptures in his head. But if we were like that, if all of Israel was like that, and that was an example too. If all of Israel were put into dire straits, and let's say all these people right here on this side of the sign, they all had good jobs, they all had this, that, and the other. What if they all got laid off? Boom, all of them. All of them that didn't accept who they really are. Let's say all of them, except for the ones that knew that they were Israelites. Let's say they all got their jobs taken away. And then they had to live a hard life for 6, 7, maybe a couple of years. Living on the streets, living hard, man. Would they be humble enough to come back? I don't know if they could. I don't know if they could.
It takes a strong person to do that. Right?
It takes a real strong person. And obviously, we're strong because we're still here.
Alright, back in Deuteronomy, we're talking about the blessings and the curses that the Lord would give Israel, who are the Israelites. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. So right now, if you're in the truth, and you got sons and daughters, you're not going to be able to enjoy being with them because you know that they're in captivity under this heathen white man.
So they're under threat. They're being threatened.
Because if you're in the truth and you teach your kids about the law, statutes, and commandments, and then they got to go to school or somewhere into the world, you got other people who
fighting what you're teaching.
You know,
unteaching what you were teaching. And let me get this right here too. This brother came up, Eli came up, and he said something about Psalms 106. So right here I'm in Psalms 106 and 4. Remember me, O Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation. So that means that you broke the laws, you forsook the Lord, you forsook His Son, but you can still make it. You can still be saved. Verse 5. That I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thine inheritance. Isn't that worth it? You really think that what you're getting right here in this planet Earth right now is better than what you're going to get in the kingdom? Everything that we're forsaking right now is going to be multiplied 100-fold. So if you're a brother that doesn't have a woman, guess what? You're going to be the brother with the most women.
That's right. Do you brothers really want to be in that lake of fire?
Hell no.
What
And that lake of fire is those missiles.
Yeah.
See, so that lake of fire was before fictitious. It was made up. That lake of fire was made up. It's those missiles.
Yeah, because they tell you that the lake of fire, that's
Nuclear destruction. Well, they tell you it's an actual lake of fire, huh?
yeah, like it's a bottomless pit. But the lake of fire is when those missiles. There's gonna be a time when nuclear war happens. It's called World War III.
It's right around the corner, too. Russia has the Sarmat missile. Sarmat 2 has this hypersonic missile that goes around the world in 15 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, and look at what Trump's doing right now. He's got everything set up nice and ready for those missiles to be launched.
Yep. Because if you think the last bombing was bad.
And by the last bomb, what the brother's talking about is Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was bad. That's nothing compared to what the Lord has in store for you, Evans.
Yep.
So you got missiles upon missiles. Oh, how many missiles? 200 million missiles? That's what the scripture says. Guided by the angels, which are black men, which the Lord is a black man. And He's only for Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
That's right. So America's gonna be destroyed.
By thermonuclear fire. Not by our wishes.
Yep.
Not by our, but it's going to help that we preach against it. But we're not going to have the power to control those missiles. We can't launch those missiles. We're not Al Qaeda. We're not ISIS. We're men of the Lord, okay? Hey, Paul was prophesying against Rome, but he was also using his Roman citizenship. What we're doing right now is the most American thing anybody could do. Take it to the streets. Get active.
Why do you think all the prophets got killed? You know,
Because they went out there.
they're prophesying against that kingdom.
Let me get this in Exodus 21 and 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. So that means a servant, right? So that word is ibad. Now there's when Joseph went into slavery, the word used there to represent slavery was Matazarayim, which is for Egypt, the land Egypt, which is what it's called now. It's not really called Egypt. It's Matazarayim. And I'll get that definition later, but right now we're looking for Ibada. It has the A at the end. But that word is Hebrew Strong H5656. Ibada. And that is from work of any kind, act, bondage, bond servant, effect labor, ministering, office, servile, service, or servitude, tillage, use, work. And then the outline of of biblical usage is labor, service, labor, work, labor of servant or slave, labor, service of captives or subjects, or service of the Most High. And this point is talking about, what's it talking about? It's talking about slavery. It's talking about a man, a Hebrew man. Let's say if that man, Eli, came up to me and he said, hey man, I don't have any money, but can you give me a job? And if I had the land, I'm just giving you an example, because if we were in the kingdom, he would have his own land. He's gonna have much. He was gonna have much. But he would come up to me and he would say, hey brother, you know, I come into the straits and I need some money. Can I lend my services to you? And I'll be like, yeah, all right. You can work for me for 6 years, and on the 7th year you're free. So all those 6 years he's working and making his money. And then the 7th year comes and I'm like, you know what? You earned it, bro. You get to leave. But if he came in without a child, without a wife, he can't leave with those. But if he marries one, if he marries one and she's my slave, guess what? All those children are mine. Unless he wants to stay with me and be part of my family. You see? You see how it works? And it's going to go back to that way. It's going to go back to the right way. I mean, no Israelite's going to be under slavery ever again. We're all going to have what we're supposed to have. We're going to have planets. Women is you know, we're gonna have so many women that we're not even gonna think about other men's women. We won't even be able to think of all the women we have in an hour. We're gonna have so much on our plate, and I don't mean like, Johnson, here's a fucking pack of files. I want you to fucking do this, that, and no, like that. So much bountiful, so much goodness. We're gonna be thinking about, man, which wife I'm gonna pop tonight. You know what? I'm gonna go drink some wine with the brother, and then, you know, I'll decide. Because every time we pop our wives, we're gonna have a baby 9 months later, 10 months later. It's gonna be good. And besides our wives, we're gonna have concubines. We're gonna have wenches. All those Edomite women that passed by and laughed at us in their Mercedes Benzes and shit, they're gonna be wiping the shit off my toilet.
They're gonna be laughing, but for the other reason, for a different reason.